Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Justin Melson with happyfoxproductions, and today we're going to be looking at how to create the Superman flying effect. And we're going to be looking at how he takes off and how he lands. It's going to be pretty cool, so check it out. This is what we're going to be making.
Let's go. So where are you going?
The Daily Bugle?
The Daily what?
The Daily Bugle.
I think you mean the Daily Planet?
Yeah, okay. How much will it cost to Uber there?
Well, first of all, you're in the wrong universe. Second of all, that's gonna be $800 plus tip.
Wait, what?
$800 plus tip?
Oh, shit. I can't drink and fly, man. Stop it. Stop the car. Shit. I don't have $800.
Alright, so obviously Superman has had a little bit too much to drink and he just can't fly too well. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be showing you guys everything from the way we filmed it all the way down to the final effect, obviously. With this effect, the techniques that you're going to learn, you can use them on almost any kind of effect. You know, whether you're kind of trying to do like a super speed effect from the Marvel movies or whatever you're trying to emulate, these techniques can be pushed into all those different kinds of videos. So it doesn't even have to be Superman flying. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's not exactly don't try to mimic what I do, but try to take the tools that I'm going to teach you guys and apply them to your own effects. So with that all said, I bet you guys are kind of wanting to watch the tutorial now, so let's go ahead and get started and see how I filmed it. All right, Calvin, so what's the first step that we do? So the first thing that we do is we go out and film the shot, obviously. The way we do it is each effect is composed of two shots. There is the background plate, and then there is the actual shot of the actor jumping away. He jumped up, and then he ran out of frame. And then the reason he did that is so we can get a clean plate. And then what I did is I filmed the camera go up. The camera shot up as if Superman flew away. And you'll notice that in even Man of Steel movies too. They'll do a really quick jump cut and they'll use sound design and all these different elements to kind of cover up the visual effects. We hit the little jump cut with a lot of motion blur and effects, and you wouldn't even notice. And as for him landing, it's the same thing. We have the shot of the camera in the sky and it tilts down, and then we have the shot of him just jumping and he falls. Now what I would have liked to have done is had him on a ladder and jump off even higher, maybe like 20, 30, 50 feet, but the actor wasn't willing to jump 50 feet off the ladder onto the floor, unfortunately, because I guess he needs his ankles. He's an actor, I guess. I don't know. And what I did is I went inside of After Effects and stitched those shots together. All right, let's get to the fun part. Let's jump into After Effects and start putting these shots together. Alright, here we are, guys, inside of Adobe After Effects. So here we're going to go ahead and get started to show you guys how we do the flying effect. And unfortunately, for the sake of time, I won't be able to show you guys how we did the landing effect, just because that'd be 2 tutorials in one video. But if you guys would like, just request in the comments below if you guys want to see the landing effect too, and I'm sure I could pump out that tutorial pretty fast as well. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with this guy. So obviously we have our footage. I'm just going to drop that into, actually, no, that's not what I'm going to do. And double click this, we're going to create our in and out points. So like I mentioned before, we have our shot of our actor jumping. So I'm going to create an in point, which is Alt open bracket. He runs out of frame. Alt close bracket. Drag that into our 16-bit composition. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it again. And there's a particular shot where the camera goes up right there. So I'm gonna Alt open, oops. Hang on one sec. All right. Totally messed that up. So we're gonna Alt close bracket and come here. Alt open bracket. Now drag that as well into the composition. Cool, so we have our shot, and then we also have our play of him jumping up in and out of frame. Okay, so the steps from here are pretty clear as from what I described earlier, but I'm just gonna go by step on how we do it. And I'm gonna try and do it as simply as possible, or as simple as possible, And yeah, so first, let's just move this over. He jumps up. And I already know we're going to want to freeze frame right about here. So let's see. And freeze frame. So this is where we're probably going to want to freeze frame. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this shot. Right click, time. What am I doing? Time, freeze frame. Cool. And I'm going to alt open bracket so we could freeze frame that. And I'm going to alt close bracket right here just so we have this. So check this out. Boom. I'm going to turn my speakers off. All right, cool. So, yep, here we go. And he's frozen. And that's basically what we want. Actually, did he go a little too quick? Let me see. Maybe we can get another frame. Yeah, so we want this one. So let's delete that one and duplicate it. Time, freeze frame, and cool. Yeah, I realized we should probably do it maybe just an additional frame. So here's what we got. Looks good. So now the next step is we need to rotoscope him. Instead of doing it frame by frame, I'm sorry, not frame by frame, but using a mask layer, we're just going to go ahead and use the roto brush. So we're just going to go here, roto, alt click to make it a little bigger, and just roto this guy. And of course, this is going to be pretty much the only time consuming part, of this tutorial. So we just got to make sure we do a good job. But the cool thing is this is going to be motion blurred, or this is going to be, since he's Superman, it's going to be flying pretty fast. He's not a snail man. So there's going to be a lot of motion blur that'll cover up for our mistakes as a bad roto brush artist. So we'll just go here, move this down, move that. And for those of you guys who care to know, we shot this on the Blackmagic cinema camera in ProRes 422. So we have a decent amount of color information to mess with. It's just we're dealing with logarithmic footage here, so it is a little difficult for it to get all the little details. But we're gonna make it work. You know what? We're getting this is pretty good. You know what we need to do? We need to go in here, because we don't want that. We don't want that. And we don't want it to sneak in there either. All right, get out of there. Get. And my cats are fighting in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. My cats are getting a little cat fight. And normally I have a dog that referees the cat fights, but he died not too long ago. So, and I'm kind of going off on a tangent right now. So that's what happens when you just start rotoscoping stuff. You just start going off on tangents. And I'm sure you guys have either clicked away by now. And if you're still here, why are you here? You're just listening to me ramble on. All right, what am I even doing? This is good enough. All right, so cool. Maybe get a little bit more of this. Just because, yeah, that's good enough. Anything else I'm missing that I'm just not getting? That. And we obviously want to get his fist because that's very important. That symbolizes Superman. We gotta get this. And fair enough, that looks good. So we're just gonna click out of that. So now we have this guy. Obviously it doesn't look too great, so we'll go ahead and hit Effect, Matte, Refine Soft Matte. Okay, so after we do the Refine Soft Matte, you can see it just kind of cleans up the edges a little bit, or at least enough. So one, this is 1080p, so it's not 4K. Nobody's going to really notice the little details. And yeah, and it's going to be really blurred out, so that's good enough. So we'll go ahead and unclick out of that, and I'm just going to pre-compose. What am I doing? Layer, pre-compose. And we're going to move all the attributes into a new composition. Looks good. And I am also going to freeze frame this composition. Perfect. And so now we're just going to move this all the way to the point where we want it to start. Page down. There we go. Let's see. Let's unsolo this. All right, cool. So we got this so far. And that is the end of this tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Justin Melson with Happyfox Production. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We got a little bit more to do. So let's go on ahead. What's the next step, guys? I'm kind of reworking on this at the same time. Oh, you know what we got to do? We got to track it. Is that what we got to do? Yeah, we got to track this thing. Is that what we really have to do? No, we don't have to track it. So no. Yeah, no. Yeah, so we're going to hit P. We're going to keyframe it. and gonna go up, and then we're gonna animate this guy this way. Oh wait, what am I doing? All right, guys, bear with me. I apologize. Shift R, so we're gonna get both of these, move them over, and I'm just gonna move you up and out of here and rotate him. So there he goes. So let's see what we got now. Oh, sick. All right, cool. So obviously he's defying physics a little bit. So let's see. The way he flies, he's kind of going more. Yeah, he's going the wrong way. Superman, why are you doing that? So we're going to move this over. And he needs to go more up. Okay, so that's good. So now we got to time up our background plate for when the camera goes up. So let's see when the camera starts to move up. And I might even just overlap this a little bit just so it gets a little bit more of a jolt because he's Superman. So he just jumps and he's out of the way. Like we don't need no delay for him. All right, that's good. So let's go ahead and add motion blur to our composition, and let's add motion blur to this shot. I'm sorry, this plate. And that's good. And in case you guys would like to set this, if you guys shot at a different shutter angle, make sure you go ahead and set that. I was on the Blackmagic, I was about 112 degrees. But if you guys shot on a DSLR and you're at 1/48 of a second, you're going to want to do a 180 degree shutter angle. If you guys did, I don't know, another shutter speed, you guys can kind of mess around with the shutter angle. That'll determine how much motion blur you give him using the native composition settings. Okay, so we have an obvious jump cut. We're going to go up to, and boom. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go on ahead and match these two clips. I don't know if you guys noticed in the original clip, it zoomed in just a little bit. So I'm going to do the same exact thing to match it. So let's see what we got. So I'm going to lower the opacity here and see the differences. I'm going to try my best to align these. Actually, I'm going to do it with the other layer. So I'm going to zoom in here. So we're going to hit S, scale, go in. So by the time he jumps, maybe P as well. Let's go back, P, move up. So by the time he jumps, I want them to be aligned. So first, let's just kind of move this over. Okay, that's pretty good. The opacity, bring that back up. And that looks not bad. And so what we're going to have to do ultimately at the end of the tutorials, we're going to pre-compose this, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we get rid of this edge, but we don't have to worry about that at the moment. And we got a little shift going on here from this. So what I'm going to do is go to this layer, select it, select all these keyframes. I'm just going to move him over to match this. So let's bring him back over just a little bit more. That's looking good, but we have a frame here where he has no motion blur on him, and that's not how Superman works. He needs to have motion blur on him all the time because he's super. So I'm going to go ahead and add motion, CC force motion blur onto this guy. Good amount of samples, shutter angle. Actually, no, what am I doing? Let's do directional blur. Sorry guys, I'm wasting your time. Directional blur, that's what we want. And we're gonna blur length, bring that up, move it down. Bring it up some more because he is really blurry. And then we're gonna keyframe it to disappear here. I guess that looks better. And I feel like there's a slight delay here. So I might even move this over one more time. Let me see. And 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, that looks cool. I think we might need to rotate him. He's kind of going off at an awkward angle. He should probably go a little more to the left. So with that said, I'm gonna go to the rotation. And we're gonna rotate him just a little bit more. Yeah, and that looks pretty good. So let's go on ahead and Control A, select all of them, and pre-compose this. You're gonna hit OK. What I'm gonna go on ahead and do is I'm gonna zoom in. So I'm gonna hit S, Shift P, select those guys, and I'm gonna zoom in. Actually, I'm gonna have already been zoomed in. So like right here. That might even be too much. Let's see. And then bring the position over, because the whole point is just to cover up that edge that we have over here. And even when he jumps up, we could even zoom out if we would like to. 105. Bring this back over. And you'll notice this, like I said, in Man of Steel, you'll notice that they just kind of do a lot of zoom ins and zooms out. And you'll think that's a directorial preference, which I'm sure it is. But at the same time, they also do that to cover up visual effects mistakes as well. Okay, so that looks cool. So next thing we're going to add is some camera shake. Now, there's a few ways we can go about doing this. What I like to do is I like to film my own camera shake on set and just track that camera information onto this shot. But what we're just going to go ahead and do, we're going to do the old-fashioned get a keyframe, and we're just going to go to Wiggler. Or you could also use it by an expression and alt-click on the stopwatch and open bracket, wiggle something, comma something, close bracket. But we're just going to go here. And then select these guys. We're going to go to Wiggler. We want this to be jagged, frequency 5, magnitude a lot. So let's see what we got. Boom. Kind of notice it. So let's add a little bit more to the frequency. Let's add 9, magnitude 25. Let's see what we get. And what we might want to do is ease it out over here. So we're just going to go create another keyframe, go here, and frequency 3, magnitude 12, apply. And then we have just a little edge here. Instead of scaling it up, I'm just going to add a motion tile effect. So we're going to go ahead and stylize motion tile. Mirror edges and height, let's do 110. So just kind of get rid of that. Okay, so that gets the point across. Now the rest is just adding a couple of additional touches. So what we're gonna go on ahead and do is I'm gonna add a spark element, which I have somewhere over here. Which one did I use? We just gotta be creative. No, that one's too sidewaysy for me, if that's even a word. It's too close, too close. Oh, wielding sparks, that's what I want. Yeah, so something like this, that looks cool. So drop that in, and we're gonna rotate it by his feet. Scale it down. Perfect. Oh, my cat says hi. Hi, Daisy. All right, you're kind of, people are here to learn, not listen to you cry. So I'm gonna make this really quick, like just one frame. Let's see what that looks like. And that looks pretty terrible. So let's go ahead and actually composite that into the shot. So once again, we're gonna add directional blur bring it up, bring it this way, and let's add some curves. Bring this down, bring it up actually. Maybe bring the opacity down just a little bit. I kind of want to see it happen about here as well. Okay, so that doesn't look the greatest, but it gets the point across to a point. Just for the sake of the tutorial, I can't really go through and really get it perfect, but then we could go, and obviously tomorrow we want to roto it behind the shoes. Let's bring that. Invert, feather it by 2 pixels. And then of course you want to add a dust wave element, which I'm going to go into my original composition to grab that. Where is that at? Where is the dust element? Dust at cam, that's what we want. So we're going to bring this over here. Just to speed things up, I'm going to go from my original timeline. So we're going to bring that. And where is it? Bring the opacity up just so I can see what we're working with. Okay, so that's obviously a lot of dirt. Maybe if he was in a cornfield or something, that would work if he's leaving, like, I don't know, Smallville or something. But so I'm going to bring that up. Bring the opacity down. Maybe animate it. Animate it down a little because when you get by the sky, you don't want to see it too much. And that looks pretty cool. Maybe we'll add a tint. Oh, I already did that. Yeah, all my work from the previous effect is already on there. So, and that spark, for some reason, is just bothering me. For now, I'll just keep it out. And just to add some finishing touches, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new adjustment layer, and let's add some blur. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go and get turbulent displace, bring that on over. And of course, that makes the entire shot look kind of whoopy, or whatever word you would use for that. I don't even know. And let's see, let's do a vertical displacement amount. And we don't want to overdo it with this effect, just want to make it very subtle. Complexity, bring that up just a touch. Anti-aliasing, you know what, keep that there. And we'll just go through by his feet. Almost adds just a little bit of displacement because Superman and gravity. Okay, so we'll just add this in there. Boom. And close bracket. And let's see what the final shot looks like. So I think that looks pretty good. And now if you really want to be cool, what you could do is you could get maybe a green screen plate of the actor and show him flying across the sky. So it's one of those things where he flies up and then he's flying over. But I don't really have the skill set for that. Oh, maybe, I don't know. I didn't think of doing that until just now. But I feel like that'd be pretty cool. That'd be some industrial light and magic stuff right there. But anyways, that wraps up the tutorial portion of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope this effect was useful for you guys, and you guys learned some different techniques and tools on how to make the effect. My name's been Justin Melson with Happyfox Productions, and before I leave, I just want to leave you guys with a project that we've been working on, a project called Angora Road, and it has been in pre-production for about a year. It's a short film that we've been working on after the last hotspot, which if you guys haven't seen it, it's a post-apocalyptic film on my YouTube channel. The link will be in the description. But we've been working on this for over a year, and we could really use your guys' support. We will be launching a Kickstarter campaign for the film in the coming month, within about 3 weeks to a month, and it's a film about honoring veterans and honoring their families and military personnel. So we're really trying to make this film as best as we can, and we could really use your guys' support to help spread the word out. Anyways, my name's been Justin Melson with Happyfox Productions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you would like to, and I'll see you guys next time.